The NBA season is almost over, which means we get a lot of mock trades here on Twitter, Reddit, all across the internet, YouTube here even, and some of them are pretty bad. Some are more egregious than others, and we're going to take a look at some of the more egregious ones today. Some of these are you just got to see them to even believe that someone even thought about them. All right, starting out with one a little close to home here. This one's involving the Memphis Grizzlies. Desmond Bane to the New York Knicks for Emmanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes, and a first. This is an instant no from Memphis. Memphis is hanging up the phone. If anyone is calling about Desmond Bane, if Desmond Bane's name is mentioned, Kleiman it is instant hanging up the phone. And this is the guy that is proposing the trade. He said, IQ would be insurance for Ja. Bane becomes the lights out shooter the Knicks desperately need. I mean, yeah, Bane's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. Of course he would be. But he's already that for the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis isn't going to let him go. Memphis hasn't had a good 3-point shooter in like the history. Well, they did have Mike Miller. So I'm not going to say the entire history of the organization. But imagine putting Desmond Bane on the grit and grind Grizzlies. It's game changing. Thank God most of the comments are like no for the Grizzlies. There are some Knicks fans that are saying no to this too. If I'm the New York Knicks and if the Grizzlies were stupid enough to agree to this trade, absolutely. But this trade, it's not happening. So starting off with a banger there. So this trade idea comes from ESPN. No idea whose it was, but Spurs get Banchero, Suggs, 2 first-round picks, number 6 and number 11. This one being Orlando's and that one being Chicago's. I believe that's the order. And then Orlando gets the number 1 overall pick. Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, this trade never gets talked about. The Magic have a great thing going with their young core. Banchero, Wagner especially. They got a great bargain in Wendell Carter Jr. right now. They are on a great trajectory in Orlando. I do think Orlando is active. I think if you do have the number 6 and number 11 pick, there could be potentially some disgruntled borderline all-stars out there that you could go after with those picks. But and San Antonio definitely does not answer the phone on this. Wembanyama is their kickstart to their reboot. They've done a pretty good job with drafting over the past couple years. This never ever happens, and the only reason why this is being talked about at ESPN is because the Lakers are not in the finals. Okay, that's the only reason why this is getting talked about. They're bored. They don't want to talk about the Nuggets. They don't even want to talk about either the Heat or the Celtics, even though the Celtics look like they might be coming back from a 3-0 deficit. In fact, at the time of recording this, it is tied 3-3, so who knows how it's going to end by the time this video is over. Future me knows, but not this current me. You guys know it too, potentially, in the comments. But anyway, let's move on. This trade makes me... I don't want to say I didn't have too much respect for The Athletic, because there are some good writers over at The Athletic. And The Athletic is good because you can get some insight into some teams. But this makes me lose a lot of faith in them if there was any left. But the Rockets receive Jordan Poole and Jonathan Kuminga, the cum bucket. And the Warriors receive Kevin Porter Jr., Sean Tate, KJ Martin Jr., the number 4 overall pick, and then Houston's first round pick in 2025 and 2027. Where do I even begin with this? With this, I don't even know what to call it. It's gross, is what it is. There's no reason why the Rockets would do this. If anything, the Rockets are going to use that number 4 pick as bait for, let's say, I don't know, the Celtics don't come back, they falter, and Jaylen Brown gets upset. I think it'd be stupid for Boston to break up Brown and Tatum right now, but like, I don't know with that, but that's just kind of like I see the big ballpark swing that they're going to have. And if they don't land a big star like that, like let's say kind of in Houston's perfect world, they're looking at maybe getting James Harden back and then a secondary star. Jaylen Brown is really kind of the one that Houston fans are wanting. Then yeah, you can unleash those picks, but you're going to unleash those picks for someone like Jaylen Brown. You're not going to do that for Jordan Poole. Who would do that for Jordan Poole? Kuminga's nice, but 3 first-round picks? If this is the move that happens, 25 and 27, if they're not protected, then they're going to be in the top 10. They're going to be lottery guaranteed, and then they're going to be in the top 10. Absolutely. Maybe even top 5. Maybe they have a huge jump into the top 5, but this is a terrible trade, and whoever made this might be, it says the Athletics trade idea, this has to be whoever is the beat writer for the Warriors. That's the only way that this gets written. We have another trade idea from the Athletic. I saw both of these in the same day, and it just, but anyway, the Blazers receive Pascal Siakam and the 13th overall pick. The Raptors receive Nasir Little, the 3rd overall pick, which, if the reports are true, looks like it could be Scoot Henderson. Portland's protected 2026 first-round pick, Luke Kennard and Tyus Jones. And then the Grizzlies receive Anthony Simons. As a Grizzlies fan, I hate this. I hate this absolutely 100% because what are the Grizzlies? The Grizzlies have no backup point guard, and Ja's probably serving a suspension. What do? You don't have Tyus Jones. Luke Kennard has been the best three-point shooter in the NBA, statistically speaking, over the past couple of seasons. Why are you giving him up? He's still on a fairly cheap, respectable contract. Why are you going after someone that is not even, if he's not a net negative with the loss of Tyus and Kennard, which I would argue that he is because of how Tyus handles the offense and how that offense operates, especially when Ja is injured or suspended like he's going to be. As a Grizzlies fan, I say absolutely 100% not to this trade. Giving up the 3rd pick, which could be Scoot Henderson for Pascal Siakam? This also has to be from the Raptors guy. I have no idea who it is. I didn't look it up. But someone in the comment section, please put down who the Raptors beat writer is for The Athletic. Did he write this? It's the only thing that makes sense, because only in that scenario of someone that covers the team and is potentially a fan of the team do they somehow end up with Scoot Henderson, a protected first-round pick, the best backup point guard in the league who should actually be starting, and then the best, statistically speaking, the best three-point shooter in the league. That's the only way that happens. Why do the Blazers do this? This sets them back even further in their rebuild if they just hang on to Dame and trade away the number 3 overall pick, which again looks like it could be Scoot Henderson, who is going to have a phenomenal career. This one isn't like egregious in a sense. I just saw it when I was looking for other trades, and it's not a terrible trade. I just don't think Cleveland does it. Cleveland's not going to get rid of Jared Allen. They like running their dual sets with Allen and Mobley out there. Okoro has been pretty hit or miss. I liked Okoro coming out of the draft. He's a great wing defender. Obviously, they don't need him to score. They got Garland. They got Mitchell. But I just don't see where Cleveland agrees to this. This is one of the more tame ones on the list, I'll admit, so it's not super egregious, but I just wanted to talk about it anyway. This one isn't necessarily a mock trade, but just in the mindset of just a straight up swap for Kawhi to go to Philly and then Embiid to go to the Clippers. I feel like that's just swapping star players for swapping star players. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And then I haven't even tried to see how this would work. But I just don't see it happening, and I definitely don't see it working or panning out for either team if that was involved. Again, I think these are just people that are bored and they're talking about whatever. While not an actual trade, this is the first of 3 of Cowherd trades that will appear in this video that we're going to go over. Again, this doesn't have the meat of like a mock trade, like in the rest of what we're going to go over. But nonetheless, just thinking about this, some people might think, well, this is how they get Kawhi Leonard to LA. But I don't see it happening. First off, why would you get rid of Anthony Davis? I know his nickname, we call him Street Clothes, but when he's healthy, he's a top 5 player in the NBA. Just look at his defense throughout the playoffs. And I know he has games where he's like really hot and he'll drop you he'll have like a 30 and 20 game, and then the other time he has like less than 10 points and only a dozen rebounds. It's very odd. I understand the frustration there, but he's still relatively young, and you have to think, what are you getting in return for him? It's primarily going to be a sign and trade for Kyrie. Does getting rid of Anthony Davis and signing Kyrie Irving to play alongside LeBron, is that the recipe for success? I don't think it is. So this one actually has some pieces to it, but again, it's just another one of those like it works scenarios. You ever heard someone say, it works. Somehow it works. This is one of those. This is Cowherd again saying the Lakers should trade Anthony Davis for Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. We say that Anthony Davis is very hit or miss. So is Julius Randle, my co-host of my podcast in the background. Julius Randle and RJ Barrett I feel like are pretty hit or miss. I don't get to watch a ton of Knicks games, so I can't tell you the nuances of like the pros and cons. Like, they have more good games than they do bad games. Everyone has bad games in the NBA, but they have enough good games to keep them going. From the sounds of Knicks fans, they want Julius Randle gone. And I don't think that there is a world where the Lakers accept this trade for straight up just Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. They would have to empty the pockets of their draft capital, the Knicks, meaning, to get Anthony Davis, to even get Rob Pelinka to answer the phone. And this final one, I think is bad on multiple levels. And again, it is people overvaluing Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole has a big contract. That doesn't make Jordan Poole good, okay? But here is Cowherd saying that the Warriors trade Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins for Jaylen Brown and Malcolm Brogdon. I like Brogdon. I have defended him in the Slack messages for Vendetta constantly because I don't think he is the root of their problems. He's injured in the playoffs right now, yes, but he is also the 6th man of the year, and he's a great facilitator, which is what the Celtics have been needing. Obviously, the Warriors make out better in this scenario because now they have a great point guard to come off the bench and run the offense, and they get a good defender. He's bagless when it comes to going one-on-one, but he can defend. He can hit some big-time shots for you. He can take the pressure off Steph and Clay and Draymond if they keep him. Yeah, there is no reason. The Celtics, Brad Stevens, he hangs up the phone. Now, we can call into question some of his other moves as general manager, but there is no way he does this. If this happens, Beantown would be lit ablaze. This last one I'm going to talk about here, there's a lot more that I have found, so might be a part 2 to this episode. We'll just have to wait and see. But this one is an NBA insider floats the trade idea that would send Joel Embiid to the Heat for Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, and other pieces. Philly would not trade with them, okay? Philly is not going to trade with the Miami Heat. Why? Because if Embiid was to go to Miami, and Miami was to win a title, then that is admitting that they screwed up when they chose to sign Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. We all know that they screwed up, but they don't have to admit that. Them trading Embiid to the Heat, which I think the Heat would be okay with. Tyler Hero hasn't played in these playoffs, and they've gone on this immaculate run. Embiid is an upgrade over Bam. Throw in some other pieces in there. Yeah, why not? Why would Miami not make this trade? There is 0% chance. 0% chance that they make this trade. Well, anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. There's probably going to be a lot more terrible mock trades that happen within the next couple of weeks, especially as we get closer to the draft. And then, of course, as the offseason really kicks off later into June, July, August, even into next year, things are going to get wild. I'm sure there's going to be a ton more really bad trades. I might even come up with a bad trade or two. Who knows? Well, thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a new video drops. This is Jackson Law from Vendetta Sports Media, signing off. I will see you guys next time.